Brian and Mark.
Gentlemen.
Becky, why don't you pivot that thing a little bit more in front then?
Yeah, you could probably bring it around here down low and then shoot it straight up. Won't block it. Move it left if you want to. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Your left, camera right.
Camera right. Move it left.
Move your stand if you want. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. Keep moving to the left. Get it closer.
there's Jeff with another good idea.
Now, is that right in your way?
No,
Okay.
I'm looking way above it. If you want to
Okay.
adjust it up, you
Okay.
want to crank it up a little higher.
His house.
Let's see. I can't.
Just crank the thing up.
It's, this is,
Some pink martinis, what do you call them? Or purple, or that's huge.
Okay, I'll get started here. I'm Troy Rodenizer. I'm with MH Corbin Incorporated, and
Troy, thanks for being here tonight.
oh, thanks for
Appreciate
having me.
it.
Actually, this is what I do, and this is how we sell our products. So, more of these I do, the more it gets out. I've got 5 folders, which is probably way
Big
more
chair.
than I need. But if you guys, all want one, pass me. It's actually the literature for everything at my company, or not everything. We represent 36 companies that our company sells for, different product lines, and I just thought while I had the audience, I'd let you know some of the other products we do sell. We started in the traffic industry in 1986. Husband and wife started the company. Now their 2 boys are in it, and then they also have 14 employees working for the company now. I met them back in 1986, but I was employed at the state of Ohio. I took care of traffic lights for the state of Ohio for 30 years. So I retired from them and went to work now for MH Corbin, selling their electrical side of the traffic products. They're basically a traffic control product company, but they are now getting into LED lights, which work inside buildings, and we're doing a lot of commercial buildings with their LED lighting. I ran into BJ Varner. This is how I came to get to here, I guess. Ran into BJ Varner, City of Newark's signal electrician supervisor, and he had told me that he talked to Tim Kelly that said, they was looking for maybe a single camera detection system, possibly. Was there one out there? BJ called me. I got over to Tim. We've been a couple months trying to get set up, but right now I'm here just to kind of let you know what it is. There's a single camera detection. You hang it in the middle, within 75 feet of the center of the intersection. So it doesn't have to be in the center of the intersection. Within 75 feet, 30 feet in the air, and 150 feet from any stop bar, this thing will work 98% accuracy. And it'll get you traffic counts, classification, turning movements. It'll just about do anything that you're looking for. One of the nice features about this is incident command. If you have an accident at that signal, and both people say, well, my light was green, you can go in there, pull a thumb drive out of the front. If you put it in, it's just something that you can use. Pull a thumb drive out, put it in a computer, and you say, nope, because the lights are in what color the phase is on that picture when it's taking a picture of that accident. You'll know who had the green light, know who had the red light, or anything like that. They've actually even used this camera and found a guy that was panhandling or something on a city street, and he kept being evasive. They finally caught him by using one of these cameras, and it's not a perfect picture, but they was able to get enough details off of it that they could use it for a little bit of that type of work too.
Or can you monitor the camera live?
Yeah, yes. If you want to take it back to the, you can run it through through fiber optic or Verizon wireless modem inside there. Yes, you can watch that anywhere you want. That's kind of the good thing about it. We lost our signal. Okay. Wonder why we lost our signal.
There it is.
Okay.
Yeah, your screen went on the screen saver.
Goes asleep.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, this is 87 pages of a boring PowerPoint. I'm not going to hit every one of them for you guys. If you guys were the installers, I definitely, we'd go through every step of it. But you don't need that. No, you don't need that. So this is Aldous is the name of brand that was designed in 2006, approved by the state of Ohio in 2009 for stop bar detection. It is the only single camera detection system out there. Nobody else has one yet. Of course, I'm sure that'll change, but right now we're the only one. So we're just going to go through, understand some of the components, which are two. Understand how to access and configure your Grid Smart system. It's very simple. Start to finish, you pull up in a bucket truck, 4 hours, you should be done with this whole system, and it's up and running your signal. Better than cutting a loop in at each one of them, taking you 2 hours. You're up and done. And a lot of times you can stay clear out of the traffic while you're doing that. You got your basic camera, your CPU unit, and then if you buy the software, you can get traffic analysis, all your traffic counts, studies, turn movements, classification, stuff like that. And that's basically what an intersection looks like when you've drawn your loops. It is stop bar detection, 360-degree field of view. As I said, 4-hour install time, reduced maintenance, storage of traffic data. It will work with NEMA TS1, TS2, 170, and 2070 cabinets. So any cabinet out there is designed to hook up to. TS2 is by far the easiest way to do it. You do it with an SDLC card or cable between the two of them, and you do nothing else. There's a little bit of wiring if you're in the cabinet for the other types. The camera is a sensing element in the video detection system. That's the fisheye view right there. If as you're looking down on it and you got it on a single camera, that's what it looks like. You can actually divide that up into quarters and check each approach that you're trying to do. You can break it up into 4 different flat screens. Very simple to do. The camera, basically, I think it weighs 12.5 pounds. It's 11 inches tall, 10 inches wide.
What do these typically hang from? The wires where the
No.
traffic lights?
No, you would mount it on a pole. Let me see. You can mount it on any existing infrastructure. They make a pole that you bolt to the actual strain cable there, runs up, and
I'm sorry, the actual what
the
cable?
strain cable, the strain pole,
The
which
pole's
is
on
the
the side
pole
of the
on the side of the
wires
road
go
where the
across.
wires
Okay.
come.
Okay.
So you mount this post to that, and it goes up. You can get it anywhere from 3 foot to 10 foot, depending on if your poles are 20. You're going to need the 10 foot to get up to the 30 foot that you want to get to the minimum mounting. You mount that on there, and then it just has a swivel arm. It'll swivel anyway, so you can level that camera. That's the only thing you have to do to that camera is level. You'll get tired of hearing it, but the camera should be located no more than 75 feet from the center of the intersection. Camera should be no more than 150 feet from any stop bar. And the camera height should be greater than 30 feet. 30 feet being the minimum, it'll work perfect. But the higher you get, the farther you see in the intersection, and then you actually get, just a bigger picture on the ground. One of the things you want to do is a site analysis, and that is where you're just going out to the site prior to putting it in. You want to see, do I have a pole that works? The best place to use these are if you have an intersection, or not the best place, but to get closest to the center. If you have a luminaire arm, street light going out in that intersection, you mount it on top of that arm instead of your string pole on the side. It now got you 15 feet closer to the middle of the intersection. So it just makes that pattern better to the center. There, once again, it's telling you rules of thumb. But it'll actually, the circle is basically a 300-foot circumference, and it's catching 300 feet around that from that camera. So the closer you get to the center, then it's 300 on all 4 sides. You want to look at, make sure there's not a lot of trees in your way, keeping you from getting on down the road or even getting to the stop bar. So depending on what side of the road, you may have to mount this on. The camera, basically, like I say, all you have to do is hang it up 30 feet in the air and level it. And then it automatically focuses, pan, tilt, zoom. It does all that internal. You want to define identity, desired control strategies. That's part of your site analysis and placement. You just want to determine all that stuff for your best detection zones. There it is. Identify existing infrastructure, identify controller type, and that way you know which cables you have to get for the controller. Identify the items that may cause field of view obstructions, identify possible camera locations, take advantage of the existing infrastructure. And then you definitely want to consider any occlusion that would impact the camera itself. Anything that would just block the view of it. Define the camera mounting height. Define the placement strategies, camera location, field of view for all detections. And then just basically you want to go down through, we'd send you a list with this prior to getting it that tells you here's the things you want to look at the intersection to make sure everything's good shape for you.
How easy is this to install?
Very easy. I mean, you basically, like I said, you're going to mount an arm up there. From the time you pull in and out, you're done in 4 hours. You mount the camera
How
level
tall
up.
are the mast arms on our?
I don't know. I don't remember looking over at them. To be honest with you, I don't know.
I don't know that they're 30 feet.
On the
No.
mast arms on a signal.
Yeah.
We don't have mast arms there. We just got the strain poles and then the wires on 30th Street. Now, if you want 79,
Oh yeah.
you have mast arms.
Yeah,
But
I was
30th
thinking
Street just has-
79.
Yeah, 30th Street just has. Yeah.
Okay.
Is this hardwired with a battery backup or what?
No, this works right off your signal cabinet. There's a plug right here. You plug it into the
Here's your
signal.
110?
Yep, 110. And then for local or network, so there's you plug in for your network. He's asking if you can go anywhere, and then that's where your camera plugs in right there. It's that simple.
You say it has to be level. Does it get knocked out of level? Or?
Not once. If you get it tight, it will not get knocked out of level. Because I mean, it's a rigid mount system. And we'll get to it's a Pelco bracket that is used a lot on traffic signal. I mean, that's probably the main bracket that is used on all traffic signal devices. If you're mounting signs on strain poles or anything like that, it's probably mounted on a Pelco bracket.
And I think to answer Mayor's question too, if you wanted to get to the center of the intersection, you would literally put that type there on top of that mast arm to get the height you need.
Right.
So you would still get close to the center of the intersection.
Right.
Even though that mast arm, I mean, that little bit of movement doesn't hurt.
I can show you, and I will here in a little bit. I'll show you a video of a very, very windy intersection and how little the camera is actually moving, because it's got the balancers built in. So basically, you go up there every time you get a new one. I mean, if you put 1,000 of these in, make sure you plug your camera in to this unit and test it prior to taking it up in the air. Because if it's not working on the ground, that's when you want to know it. You get it up top. Now you got to think: did I make a bad connection? You might not. It could have never worked when it got, I mean, we've never had one not work, but we always like a guy to test it on the ground. That way, at least you know I've got a bad connection up there.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So, there again, it's this 30, 75, and 50, or 150. So we're not going to go through that. There's a Cat 5 direct burial cable that we do not supply. It's just, it's an easy cable to get. You can get CD, McNaught, McKay, any of those electric places have it. That is the only cable you will run to this whole unit. Everything else is internal. So instead of, if you have them intersections that have a camera at each approach, you're running 4 or 5 of those in. This one here will do 15, 16 lanes on one cable. Whatever you break it down to work. It's weatherproof gel-filled splice connectors. The bucket truck, 120 volt power, or if you know you got 240, let us know when you're ordering. That way we get you 240 unit. Anti-seize, pipe wrench, and the level, and then RJ 45 crimpers. And that's just so when you cut this cable up top to make your splice to your new cable, then you crimp your actual foam or RJ35 connector with the crimps. So, that is probably the worst looking example of how to mount this camera I've ever seen. I don't know why it's in this. It
Show us
turns
what
my
not to
stomach
do.
every time I see it. But yeah, that's how simple it is. You're just putting it in a location that you can adjust everything.
So here's what I guess what I'm struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking of that intersection there at 30th and Claire. If I've got 4 telephone poles on each corner, and all I'm running is wire across where the light standard is, I mean, how are we going to put something on this and then run it out to the
It
middle?
doesn't run out here. Your camera will actually mount right there. On an arm, all you need is to be within 75 feet of that right there.
And you're definitely within
Your
that.
camera,
Each lane's about
your
15
camera
feet,
would
right?
mount right
Okay.
on the pole. Okay?
Okay.
So you're where that mounts at, there's nothing goes out into the middle.
Okay.
Okay? Unless you've got a mast arm or something that you're running it just to the last piece of steel you have. It doesn't go on the cage.
That's Clarendon and 30th right there.
Yeah.
That's the Get Go gas station right there, and that's Speedway.
Okay.
So the idea, Mayor, just would be like whichever corner you have, one of these corners has a controller on it.
If that's
So
where
if
you
that
want to
pole
go, the
is that,
closest
yeah, if
one.
that pole nearest the strain pole where the controller is, just come up, and if you have to go up with a more pole, mount a pole onto a pole, like this, send it higher, and then maybe one that even cantilevers out a little bit,
Okay.
and then you would hang that. So that might be hanging like right, let's say there, but then that gives you that field like that. So then you can say, okay, we need a stop bar loop here, 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 and here. And then that controller then sees all the cars and it knows, okay, there's 3 cars waiting to turn left. Let's give it a left turn arrow so it can go. We got 3 cars here,
Wow.
That's what we want, rather than cut a loop in everywhere,
Yeah.
And as long as you're not more than 75 feet from here,
No, from the center.
from the center.
From right here to that spot right there. Okay.
And I think that's 1 inch equals 30 there, so you're only like 30 feet or something, so
Yeah.
you'd be plenty.
Normally, any just regular T intersection, you're not going to run into that issue. You get out in big 4 lanes where there's big left turns and all that. So it may be, but there's other ways around that with 2 camera systems, and, But basically, Mayor, right there is how that works. That's mounted onto the end of a luminaire arm. It's arched up, and that's as far as the wires go. So it's all in this metal. It's all right there. There's no cable out in the air.
Okay. So, how much do these units cost?
They are, and I left the house, forgot the exact numbers, but they're right at $14,000 with the CPU camera, and if you buy a 10-foot arm for the to add extend it 10 feet. But I guess actually, to be honest with you, 3-foot arm's the same price. It doesn't matter. They're charging the same price for a 3-foot riser or a 10-foot riser. But they're right at $14,000 completely.
And that's that and that.
That and that would also get you the arm and a Pelco bracket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much more is the software that you talked about?
The software to do traffic counts and that, it's $2,500, which is crazy. And we're working with our company's trying to get them to say, you know what, that's
Make it
kind of
part of the
crazy.
package.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, you also talked about being able to plug in, for lack of a better term, I guess a memory stick or something in the
Yeah,
computer.
yeah.
So a police
USB
officer
drive.
could literally pull up at an accident, pull that thing out, drop it in his laptop.
Drop it in his laptop and watch. Absolutely.
That's part of this $14,000 package.
Yes, that is. The traffic counts and the turn movements, that part is not part of this basic unit. But yeah, you just put a USB thumb drive right there and it's running. And the bigger you get, of course, the longer memory you get, but it'll run over itself. Once it maxes out, it just runs over itself, starts again. So yeah, if you knew, if you had a wreck there today, you didn't really want to look at it while everybody was there. You go back in 2 hours, grab it out, rewind it back to that. You're able to watch that intersection and see what happened.
That's Doug, you talked about these control devices, Tim. Like we talked about the wind intersection to the boxes, are they compatible with doing the things we wanna do? Does this box literally plug into our control boxes?
It works with any controller.
That's what he was saying earlier. I mean, I don't know the specifics of the control boxes, but it sounds as though it's a fairly universal thing.
Basically, this all hooks on to where your loops actually mount. Okay, this really doesn't get into your controller. It's telling you, I've got a call here. So it's basically fixing the loop problems in the road.
The thing that controls the lights themselves, that stays the same. This
That
just
actually
takes place
stays
in
the
the
same,
loops.
correct. But then this thing, the reason you can get into it, because you're getting into our CPU, taking a picture out of what our camera took. It is stored in our unit. But it does not change any of the controllers or anything like that.
And what's the cost of the like the overhead ones that we have on 79 that Newark's putting in on their intersection?
$4,000 to $6,000 each.
Yeah.
Each. So you got 4 at least. If you're doing a T intersection, you got at least 4. You got turning movements. You got 6, 8.
Well, that's a per
You know,
camera.
Per camera. This is one camera.
Plus you're running a
It's like on
cable.
79, every intersection we have 4, one,
Right.
each direction, you
Yeah.
have 4, so,
And those where I'm telling you, those you got to get up and aim, make sure it's lined right.
Yeah.
Ours you don't. Once it's in, it's done. So you're not up there in a bad windstorm realigning it.
That $4,000 per camera, does that include the installation cost also, or no? That's probably on top of it then?
I know.
Because you're running.
I
the
know
wire
we
for each
sell
one.
another camera that's a single unit, does and ours are $5,000, and that is just for the camera.
And then you got 3 additional cables in lieu of 1.
Right, and you're pulling a cable from each one of those, and it's a lot of it is what the villages want, cities want. Some people want to make sure they monitor every intersection and make sure that way. But this here also does that, but people just don't understand it. Best thing I can do, to let you know, the city of Lancaster is going to these exclusively. They have bought in 5. They've just put in for 12 more. When they're done, they want their whole system to run on this one single camera. They liked it a lot. And the day I did the demonstration for them, they were at ODOT, and I was doing one for I sent out letters to all the cities and villages and everything close by. They were the only city that showed up, and I would have thought that guy was no more interested in it than anybody, just the way he sat there and just didn't look like he was very happy with it. And he called within 2 weeks and ordered them, and he's loved it. So, Tim Dietz down at City Lancaster would get you anything that you want to know, and he can tell you how easy they are. And he's just
Memorial
really
Drive
cool.
or Main Street, or what street are they
Right
focusing
now,
on?
right now they're doing 22, which I don't know what
That's
that.
Main Street.
Okay, they're doing 12 of them on Main Street this summer. They got a paving project coming in. They had money that said, okay, for each loop we're going to give you. They had 76 loops. They can replace it with 12 cameras. So whatever the price of the loops were, it washes easily with 12 because they can do the same detection system with 12.
Yeah, the 30th Street project, the loops, the price came in at $795 per loop. Okay. Now, the difference is,
So that would be what? 1, 2,
well,
3, 4, 5,
we're
6,
actually-
7, 8.
I don't know if we're doing the sides there.
$3,200.
I think it just might be 6. It might just be 30th Street. There's 30. No wait, Heath had. Let me think. How many Heath have? 32, 28. I can't remember now. I'd have to recount to know exactly how many we had at each intersection.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if the side streets, because when we're milling going through, I don't know if we're going to catch the side street loops and actually have to replace them. I know all the ones on 30th Street were in there to be replaced. So every intersection on 30th Street, the loops. Now, here's where the rub is, because we're kind of like behind the 8 ball on this a little bit, was it's already been bid, it's already in there, and it's not, we're not paying 100% of that, $795, okay?
We'd have to non-perform that.
We'd have to non-perform that, which we don't save $795, we only save the 20% of the $795,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And then we'd have to go to the, and then do some other cabinet work and stuff like that. So,
Could, for the 795, could we say to ODOT, take that 795 per let's put one of these in. We'll pay the difference between $7.95 times however many loops there are. We'll pay the difference between that and the cost of this.
Sure you can, because that's how Tim Deeds got his 12.
Is that right?
He had the numbers for how much it was to replace the loops. He went and saw Ty Thompson at ODOT, the traffic engineer out there, the planning engineer, and that's how he's working his.
I just don't
It's
know
an
that,
80-20.
you know, because it got in so close for them going to start the project and everything. It's one of them deals where I don't know if, you know,
Make a few phone calls.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a phone call issue and everything like that. And
Is this a possible option for Andover and Overland?
yeah, but we already got the cameras
We've
there.
already got the cameras
But we could
there.
see the crashes if we had that. We could see what was. I mean, seriously, you can see how people are doing the light wrong. You know, you can actually see what's going wrong there. You know, and stuff. That's what I kind of like. You
More
know,
finger pointing either.
you know, yeah.
Right there.
But
That's nice.
you know, it's one of them things where
Yeah, we already have the cameras at that intersection.
the advantage of this over the single cameras, although now they do have a single camera for span wire and stuff, but you know, before you had to go with the mast arms in order to mount that camera over the lane, like we have on 79.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have the mast arm. So to do 30th Street in those intersections with
We'd
those
have
single
to put
cameras,
mast
we'd have to
arms
put mast arms up, which would be a lot more expensive. Okay.
Yeah.
Now they do make. I got some literature. I don't know if I brought it with me or not, but where they do make a camera, single camera that'll mount on the span wire and stuff. But I'm not sure
Be shaky.
because you know if the wind's blowing, you know how the lights blow when those things go.
Yeah.
So you know that camera's going to move,
Yep.
and if all of a sudden when it gets done moving, doesn't quite hit the same spot again. I don't know. You might be going up there tweaking all the time. So this, like he says, once it's mounted, it's there, and you're seeing the whole thing. And everything. The other advantage over cameras over loops is that in 10 years from now, when we're doing 30th Street over again,
Right.
because it'll be time to repay again, you'll be going spending that $7.95 for each one of them again.
Yeah.
And then
you don't have to worry about that.
You know, and if there would be, I don't know what utilities under there, but if there would ever be a chance we had to dig across somewhere and you dig through a loop, you're replacing a loop again and all that kind of
What's
stuff.
the warranty, the maintenance agreement on these things?
The standard warranty is I believe it's 1 year. You can get an extended warranty for 2 years. You know, and there again, like I said, I apologize, I forgot the pricing. Probably I knew the question was coming, but I just actually ran out tonight and forgot. But I think you can buy a warranty up to as long as you want to extend it out. You know, if you want to 5 year, they're just going to prorate the warranty out. And the warranty comes from Knoxville, Tennessee. That's where they're built at. Everything's made in America, but Knoxville, Tennessee is where they're made, and then where the Ohio.
I don't know, Tennessee. I
But that's basically right there is your standard look of the intersection once the camera's hung. And later we'll get into the orientation of these. There's one little notch that they put on this camera. A lot of people thought that was for north. That is an area of non-interest. That is a place that doesn't have a lane of traffic. That's where you want to point that because the round camera, yeah, you want to point it at the Bob Evans store, you know, where there's it in the corner.
Yeah.
Because Village, you want to point at the gas station or something.
Because as it is, the camera, even though it looks round, the picture kind of gets oblong. So you want to try to keep that a short way out of into the area of non-interest.
Okay.
What breaks the lens? What typically are things that get replaced that are once your warranty's 2 years, 3 years out of date? What components are?
We haven't had anything fixed in the warranty yet. I'll be honest. I mean, we just started selling these in 09. I haven't had anything have to go back yet, so that I don't know. I mean, I can find out through all this.
So you've been selling these since 09, and everyone that you've sold is still working just fine?
You not had to replace the
Not had to
lens or
replace
any of
the
the
lens.
guts of these
No.
things.
Wow.
In 3 plus 4 years.
Well, sure.
We'll set the precedent for that.
Yeah, give us a crack at it.
We'll kill your
Start making them
status.
in China, and then you'll have a 1 year replacement.
And they do start. They do have software updates that are they just come on a thumb drive, plug it in, put your hands back, and it downloads it all
Oh, that's good.
and tells you, say, to remove thumb drive, pull it out, and it's newly updated to the newest versions. So, and you get that, you know, on your. They'll send it directly to you. If I tell them, you know, we have your address, city, Heath bought one, you get that. It doesn't come to me, and you got to wait for me to come around and do it. It comes to the city of Heath, so you know, hey, we got an update.
Part of the purchase price.
Part of the purchase price,
It's
updated.
pretty impressive.
They didn't build a Muzak replacement, did they? I was thinking it was the same company. They just had me install one 2 years ago at Elder Beerman. You know how all your Muzak used to be wired in and everything? They just got a unit similar to that, and then once every 3 months they send me a disc, and I just plug it in there and it downloads new music.
That's what it plays for 3 months.
And you own it, see?
Right.
You don't pay a monthly payment. But I think it looked like, if I remember, I'll go up and check it.
Okay. Maybe we'll plug it in here and see what happens. Maybe we'll play music while the
We'll
signal.
play music at the intersection.
It's a pretty interesting solution. I think, as it relates to this particular intersection, if you can maybe find out some of the specifics on this project, and let's see if there's options there. If you want to give us a price break, we'll show you how to break those things. We'll do everything we can to it. I think it's something. I think it's something that's at least worth continuing to pursue.
Like I said, I hadn't seen it before, and BJ had, you know, talked about it and everything, and that's how we got in contact with each other and stuff. And I just thought it was be something that you guys might be interested in seeing, and you know, and stuff. So it's
Impressive.
So I'm going to kind of flip through here because I mean, like I said, you guys don't need to really know any more than what I've just showed you. It's a system. I'll show you some videos that we have of the detection range, because I think that's probably more what you would like to look at anyway.
Tell your contact in Lancaster to pave my parents' street. I thought Willow Ridge's streets were bad. Gosh, I went through their neighborhood yesterday. Ugh.
Which intersection with the poles?
This here is the first intersection we installed in Ohio, and it is in Sugar Creek. That's an Amish buggy.
yeah.
I don't know if, I mean, you all know that motorcycles, bicycles, they get lost in loops. We actually have in here, we've drawn in each one of these corners a detection zone, because when they built the signal, they run one conduit across the road, high voltage. They couldn't run push buttons for the PED signals in that same conduit against the National Electric Code. So they asked us, can you make this thing work? We can make it work, and it works great on people. People will detect it. But the only thing it does is it makes the signal work a little sluggish because it goes to all calls. Every signal, it's going to operate completely around that cycle because we don't know where that guy's going. He comes into that zone, but we don't know if he's going right, straight, left. You know, we don't know where he's going. So it makes that signal completely cycle one time till the pedestrians are gone.
Everybody would have a red.
No, not necessarily. They'll get, because the PED signals are turning on.
Oh,
So
all right.
so people that normally get green with the PED signal, then you still have that, but it's still going to cycle that all the way around that.
Okay.
Even once he gets across, they say, well, he's gone, but we didn't know which way he was going, so we tell it to
Oh, I
call
see.
all phases.
Yeah.
So it's going to sluggish. That is the bad thing about it.
I just want to point out one thing. Well, I keep talking about the loops. You know, right now on our streets, except for 79 that's got the cameras, they come and they saw the road, and they put wires down in there, and it goes over the controller. And then when a car or vehicle pulls up there, that trips to know there's a car there. Okay. On this, you can see the blue.
The blue line right
rectangles
now
there.
is an inactive loop. Now it's going to go yellow as soon as this car hits
Yeah.
it. Now they know there's a call. It's the phase 2, you know, so they know where the calls are going, and that's part of the software package that you get here. See that, all those lines? There's little pixels that's hitting on that car to determine what size that car is, and that's what all those green arrows are right now. They're determining what classification of that car is, whether it's a semi by the heights of the pixels and all that. So as they're moving through, but that you got to get in that software. You don't have to buy the software to get that, but to see what it is, you have to buy the software.
Now, where does it show you what the is all up at the top there? Is that showing
that's
you
showing you
the
what
traffic-
phases. That's showing you what lights are green. But the new system, this is an old demonstration, but the new system actually, it's got a green ball here, red ball here,
I see.
right on the ground in
Well,
front of it.
that's
So
the-
you're not up there saying, dang, where's this green light going? Oh, it's going to there. I've got my green ball laying on the pavement on my picture. It looks like it's laying right in front of that loop. That's the new program. This one hasn't been updated. Of course, this won't be updated. So that is, like I said, and I'll show you, just show this real quick. Our luminaire pole, or we put one of those Pelco poles straight up here. It looks like a luminaire hanging there. People think it's a street light because they have decorative street lights up there anyway. It's Amish country is where they're at. That fits right into the area. It looks nice hanging there. And that's right on that pole. So basically they come down that pole straight into the cabinet. They use 25, 30 feet of Cat 5 cable. Had no cost to them, you know.
Now, the other thing we'd have to do, Mayor, at that intersection is probably put a 5-section light up and stuff and run wire for that too. You know what I mean? If we wanted
For
the green,
Yeah.
just the same situation you're going to have at Andover and 79 and stuff like that. But the beauty of this, or cameras in general, is supposedly if you decide you want an extra detection back further or whatever, you can draw that
Just
loop
do
in
it.
and you know, so you can say, oh, if there's a car here, don't give them the dedicated left turn, but if there's a car here and here, then do it so that they can get through.
That's making me dizzy just looking at it.
That's quite an intersection.
That's a big intersection there. That's like 30th and 79.
Right.
That intersection would be like 30th and 79 in the size wise. And this is run by one camera, so you can do a big intersection with one camera. What you can't do with one camera is when you got a big split and 150 or 200 feet down the road might be the other phase that's tied to this signal. So it takes two cameras, still one CPU, you know. Very simple operation also. But I can't think of Heath. And I've been around, I'm from Utica, so I've been around Heath most of my life. I can't think of anything that you couldn't run with one camera. Unless you got a
If it
controller.
can run 30th and 79 or Hopewell and 79, then it could run anything.
Yeah, but the only thing was like BJ, when he was looking at these four, and then they just, like you say, is already bought and in the contract. They've got one controller put in the middle of a bridge and a signal on both sides. They wanted to run, so they had to have two cameras because you can't set that up in the air. So it would take two cameras with one control system. So that's showing you pretty good size intersection there that it's able to run.
You say you can see the split like that round. You can see it on flat. Do you have any,
You can break that into. I
do you have any
don't know
shows that?
if
Okay.
I've got anything that I can do that with here
Okay.
tonight. But a lot of people worry about what it looks like at night. I'm going to show you the day picture here at Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's what it looks like during the day. And this green line's here.
Are those decorated like Hershey Kiss?
No. But the green is what we call a dead zone. We don't want it, so we're going to mask it off. It's a area mask that we mask off. That's everything that's not on the road. So we're just masking off gas stations, big grass lots, anything here, so we know nothing's going to go there. Because this CPU watches the intersection and it keeps memorizing. It just keeps relearning the intersection, and we want it to never look here because if it's looking down there, it takes a little bit extra time to learn the intersection again. So these areas are non-inters. We don't want it to look at that. So that's the daytime view of it. And now we can the same intersection at night. Oh, look at that.
You desensitize
There we
that or
go.
cut that green, but will it record?
If someone walked through there, would you see them walking through there, or you wouldn't see them at all?
You would see it, but it wouldn't pick it up any
Okay.
at all. You know, we just don't want it looking at that area.
But if someone walked there or a car crashed,
Oh,
or
yeah,
anything, you
crash.
still
Yep,
see it.
you're going
You'll
to see it. You're going to see
You'll
it. Yes. Yep.
It's just an area that's not gonna
Trip
be
anything.
considered by,
Right.
as
Be
it's,
considered as a signal, the place that says, do I need a car here? You know, do I need a loop here?
I think
So-
so. Just walked across the street.
Possibly. One of these
On the bond, you see
do
it?
have the,
something happened.
and I'll show you a school zone here in a minute where all we're doing is watching the pedestrians. That's all we're doing.
I just wondered. So it's almost like kind of shape.
Do you have a flat screen that you, when you draw in the loops and stuff?
Yeah, that's what you do it right in the system itself. You put it into the.
So you can actually make sure you're putting the loop exactly where you want it.
Right.
Because when you see that fisheye, it's like really hard to see
Yeah.
the loop. It's
Right.
like,
And this here, like I say, we're watching for pedestrians coming into these loops here. That's all they're monitoring. So the reason it took so long for this guy to show up yellow, when they drew this loop, they said the people are going to be entering here. That's the movement that they have. They never put in that people would walk in from the right or left. That's a downfall on when they installed the system. You go back in there, you can change that very easy and say, people might come in here from the right, they might come in from the left. That way it'll trip that detection. So as you're walking this way, it's going to trip all that detection. So we're just watching people get into the intersection. We know that they're safe, and that's where they're at. So, and showing you how it detects the people as it's in there, because you're not going to pick up a person in a loop. You know, it's just not going to happen. So,
My car's being very patient.
Obviously not
probably no
on
turn on
camera.
red.
probably,
Has a red light and no
Yeah.
turn on red.
Can't be from Lincoln County. Oh, well.
and I wanted to show you the windy intersection. And that is this one here. As you see, the camera's moving quite a little bit back here. You see the signal head's moving, but on the ground and the vision that we're looking for our loops, staying pretty stable. So it's, the wind isn't throwing it to say, hey, my loops are here and here and here. It stays pretty stable, even though you see the wind blowing in the signal heads and.
Very interesting.
So, I'd be glad to answer any other question, any questions you have.
You know, I'm not sure that we have any right now, because we've got things we need to look at too. I guess
You're going to check
before
on
we can.
whether we get a credit on the.
Yeah, I mean, before we,
that's
I
a
guess
big
before we
piece
have
of it.
anything else, we need to, take a look at what our options are on that particular intersection and go from there.
The other intersection would be good, like 30th and 79 in the future. Since fast arms aren't really, I mean, they are an option there, but they'd be real expensive. Something like this would be a good option for that intersection down the road, because we don't have.
That would be a
things like
79 paving project,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you,
mean,
sir.
just as we go and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's something new. And since
Yeah.
they're putting in Lancaster, maybe it's something
Thanks.
check out.
Very good.
Go through Lancaster, or check that out. See how they work out and stuff. I mean,
When are they putting them up, or do they already have?
They have 3 of them up right now down in Lancaster, and they're actually bought another one that they're putting in. I don't know what intersection it's in now, but the one I don't know. It's 37 going in through from here. Go 37. You go down through the little part of town, and it sits up by a big church. And I don't know what the intersection is, but I know it's 37. Then there's a great big church right there. Just
As
before
you're
you
starting
get
to come up on
22.
top of the hill there, and then Main Street's up on top of the
before
hill,
you
which
get
is
to
22.
22.
Yeah, okay.
Right,
Yep.
it's right there.
Yep.
Tim has been, like I said, he'll be glad to talk to you about it. He likes the product. and he told me, anybody that's close by wants to talk to him or wants to see it. Like I say, you may want to go down or send your electricians down when he's installing his next one, just to see how easy it is to put in.
Okay.
But it's a very simple system. So, and like I said, I wanted to kind of keep it as short as I could because I'm a township trustee and I know when guys come to me, you don't even want them there.
Troy, thank you.
Yeah, Troy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Did it.
It's a nice
A lot of
product, really.
good information, and
Absolutely.
but it's, like I said, I wasn't sure what it costs or how it did, or
I know.
how it looked.
What do you think? Vic and our guys handle that?